What's up guys, welcome back to another how to play at a high level video. Today we're going to be focusing on Nuke, and by the end of this video, you guys will understand what a solid round looks like on Nuke, how to play with CT rotations, and why lower control is so important. If at any point during this video you're wondering if I do coaching, I do coaching on Medify. I have it linked on my YouTube channel and down in the description if you want to go check that out. And with that all laid out, let's get into the video. Now to start out, let's look at default CT utils. So let's think of the goals here as CTs. What are we going to be trying to do at the start of the round? We're going to be trying to deny rushes, we're going to be trying to take control, and we're going to be trying to make sure that our early round will set us up for the late round. And to fully understand what we should be throwing early, we have to understand what each player's roles are on CT side. Now the outside player's role is going to be trying to create some friction versus the Ts if the Ts are trying to go down towards lower, and that could be in the form of the outside player playing around towards here, spamming smokes. He could be playing in mini. He could be throwing this default Molotov almost every single round. That's normal to stop or rush. You come over here and you just throw it like this. And that will take a lot of information from the Ts. They either have to smoke that or they have to run around this side, which they could still tick in if they want to go outside early. Now, after that Molotov is thrown on a default, the outside player can play around towards this box. He can play around towards credit. He can play mini. He can play here. And sometimes they'll have the opper throw this Molotov so that the actual outside player can drop down lower and maybe start towards secret. So then, even though outside is somewhat open for the early round, he can come up secret and clear it in the mid round with a flash from his teammate, or late round if he just wants to sit here and watch for any Ts trying to walk into secret. Now, as far as A players go, one of the A players' jobs is going to be to deny door, and the other A player's job is going to be to deny hut. And what that will look like is generally the first spawn to A. A lot of teams play spawn-based. The first spawn to A will come over here, and he'll throw this Molotov. Now, that Molotov will basically hit off the door. If the Cheese try to nade open door early, the Molotov will actually burn inside of door. So let's say an opper is trying to go for a pick. He'll come up, he'll open the door and trying to pick towards mini. But if that Molotov gets thrown, that Molotov will actually burn all the way deep in door, and this is for damage in the early round. Now, the second A player will usually be denying hut, and that could be in the form of a hut Molotov. If you don't want to use the Molotov early, you can actually nade it, and then maybe drop down sight. Usually how you'll see it done as pro play is around 60% of the time the player will drop towards sight, and the other 40% of the time this guy will stay around towards heaven area and just hold a nade, hold a molly if he gets flashed or anything in case it is a rush. And think about from the T's perspective, right? If we're going to be doing a hut rush, I'm going to be holding a smoke for the molly. If the molly is going to be late, the person who's holding a smoke for the molly won't realize that it's getting mollied until it's too late. So what this could do is if I'm the guy who's smoking the molly, I'll be running out. Oh, they didn't throw a molly. I'm going to take my gun out now and try an entry towards sight, but the molly's coming in late. So what this will do is this will actually cut off the rest of his team, and his team will either have to tank the Molotov, or because his job was to smoke the molly, his teammates won't have their smokes out, so now they have to back up and smoke it, and this is time that you can be actually swinging out heaven after that Molotov and isolating your fights. Now, after this default utility is thrown, let's say the Ts didn't rush towards A, now you have to figure out who's going to smoke door, right? And the Ts normally nade door on T side, and you don't want door to be blown open because that's a way that you can get picked when you're rotating to try and drop down vent. That's a way your mini player can get picked if he's somewhat exposed. It just allows for a lot of opportunities for the Ts to be able to work towards A. So you want to keep door smoked majority of the round. Now, this is a common mistake that newer players and even pro players have messed up on, is you generally want the sight player or the heaven player to be the first person using the door smoke, and I'll give you a reason why. As the door player, if the Ts throw outside smokes and they can go down early, if my outside player is somewhere towards heaven or towards mini or something, then he's going to need to be able to get down vent. Now, you won't always count on your outside player having a smoke, because half the time he'll be throwing a smoke like this on default. If he wants to cross back big garage, he should almost always be throwing a smoke like this. And if he is a place committed in back big garage, of course he's not going to be able to use his smoke or have a smoke, because he's not going to be a factor in the round as far as rotates go. He is committed to back big garage. As the door player, you are now the lower rotate if the T's try and go towards outside. This is the reason as a door player you don't want to use your smoke, because if they throw outside smokes, you want to drop down and be able to smoke them off and deny control for rotates, and this delays them and gives you more time to get information on what they're trying to do. Now, there's a few ways that the A-site player could be smoking towards door. He can come up to this area. He can aim in the center of the vent right here, and this smoke will pop directly in door. And also, if you throw the smoke directly after you molly door, it will actually pop on the Molotov and still be a good door smoke, whereas with other lineups, you need it to bounce in certain ways that it will actually hit the molly, and that could be bad for you. Another way is that you could come towards the side of silo here. You can aim to the right of the hook, and this smoke will go bounce directly into door. And this is one of the best door smokes you can throw because it doesn't puff out too much to the point where it actually makes a lurk smoke for the Ts, which some door smokes normally do. You'll also see sometimes in pro play that teams will actually leave A almost completely open in the early round. They'll have one of the A players come over and molly towards door, and he'll hold a nades towards hut. And if the T's go towards A, he gets some decent damage off, but you're essentially playing on retake. And because it's so early in the round, if the T's rush A, you're going to have a ton of util on CT side, so retaking shouldn't be too hard. What pro teams will do when they only have one playing towards A and he's playing towards retake is they'll focus somewhere else on the map. So they'll focus towards outside. Maybe they'll have a guy towards mini. Maybe they'll have an opper go for a pick, which will look like a smoke right here early in the round. The opper will come around over here and go for a pick like this off of a flash. The flash that the CTs will normally throw will be coming over here into this box, aiming the bottom left corner of this and jump throwing. And where this pops is it pops directly in front of red and just over this box. So any T's coming outside will just get hit by this. And this could be a free pick for the opper. And while this is going on, you could have a third CT come over here and hold towards marshmallow. So this opper can get away if he gets a pick and needs to get out. And you'll see pro teams go for these little things because it's ways of disrupting a T's default. Let's say a T's default is normally going 3 towards outside. Let's say maybe 2 people holding towards lobby, 1 guy nades open door, etc., just normal default stuff from T sides on Nuke. This is a good way of disrupting the T side. If there's only 2 people in lobby, then the people in lobby can't react on A quick enough because they don't have the numbers. It isn't confirmed that there's 3 people towards outside, so you don't necessarily want to run out A as just 2 players. You also don't want to go ramp because 2 players going ramp, if they go 1 for 1, then it's still a very weird situation. But this is just one of the gimmick ways on CT side that you can try and get opening picks and disrupt a T default. Now we're going to move on to the ramp player. As the ramp player, your default is generally going to be mollying off the beginning. And then towards the end of the molly fading, you're going to be wanting to smoke on top of the molly. And the reason you do this is because if T's are going to be popping, they're going to wait for the molly to fade before they end up going. So if you smoke on top of the molly, you're forcing the T's to be able to either go through a smoke or go through a molly, and you're not allowing that gap between the molly and the smoke that the T's are going to be trying to abuse if they want to pop ramp. So now that you're in a situation where the T's are smoked off towards ramp, they haven't pressured you early in the round, now you want to be communicating what your plan is if the T's do pressure you on ramp. If you're one solo ramp player, the chances that you're going to be able to hold ramp versus 4 T's is extremely low. So again, let's play the percentages here. Are we going to play to drop or are we going to play to fight? This is all useful communication to tell your team. If you're going to be saying you're playing to fight, you generally want to rotate the opper. What did I just do with my maul? You want to rotate the opper over so that he can support you. And this is a good way that you can play a bait setup. Now let's think of it like this, right? If the T's are going to pop ramp, then you have time to drop. You can have a good, decent lower defense, and they're giving you a heads up on when they're coming. This will also allow the opper over here to maybe get 1 or 2 free picks while they're trying to chase you down lower. If they try to contact it, what you can end up doing is you can hold an off angle like this, where you're not exposed to this angle. So if the T's are walking to ramp, they go ahead and clear this, and now they have to clear this angle. By the time they peek this, they're not looking at you. You get a free kill. After you get this kill, you're playing a bait and switch setup. So you get this kill, you fall off a little bit, and now your opper can get the next contact. If the T's are planning on putting numbers towards ramp and contacting ramp, as soon as you get that kill, they're going to try and run you down because the ramp player is normally alone. What this will allow your opper to do is then take the next contact after you, get this pick, fall off. Now you're in a 5v3 situation. This is how teams hold bomb sites. This is how they hold positions like ramp. They always communicate. Are they playing to fight? Are they playing a bait setup? Are they playing to fall away? Are they just playing for information? And all of this is super, super useful for the rest of your team. If I'm over on A and I hear my ramp player saying he's playing to fight, I know that if the T's are going to pressure towards ramp, that means that they're going to be getting essentially end round kills in ramp. That's going to be where the mid round is going to be decided, is in ramp if the T's go ramp. This allows me to get ahead on my information, and I can already think about my rotates before they've even happened. The last player we want to talk about on CT side is the opper. Now the opper will be floating around the map. He'll be going for picks. Nuke is a fairly op pick heavy map, but for the most part, if a pick isn't happening in the very beginning of the round, the opper is going to be used as just a way of locking down a position. So you'll see an opper, sometimes he'll solo op ramp. Now he doesn't need a rotate because all he needs to do is get a pick and fall away, and he doesn't need help to fall away because he's holding such a deep angle that the T's won't be able to run up on him before he's able to get away. What this allows the CTs to do is they can stack 3 towards A, they can still play 2 towards A, and they can play 2 towards outside. It just allows for stronger holds all across the map if the opper is the one locking down one position. A huge concept for oppers is also, let's look at it at a base level. You have a one-shot gun that has a very long range. You're generally going to be playing the scenarios that are long-range fights because percentage-wise, those will favor you the most. That's why you'll see oppers opt towards this CT box over here, and they'll hold the mini wall, they'll hold this crack, they'll hold over towards here, they'll hold up towards heaven, and they'll basically play as long-range angles as they possibly can. Another way you can use the op is running down towards lower and locking down all of lower at the very start of the round. You can drop your ramp guy an extra smoke and extra Molotovs, so now he can have a successful ramp hold, and you can come down towards lower, and you can op one of these angles. Now, if your outside guy is spotting outside early, he can give you the information. Can they be close on you? Can they not be close on you? And that's when you'll see oppers op positions like this, which are fairly common in pro play. Sometimes oppers will come up here, and they'll get a flash in the mid round, and they'll peek over towards top silo. But generally, if there's an opper in lower, if the Ts are coming towards lower, you don't want to exhaust like 4 or 5 flashes taking lower, because there are so many different angles an opper could be on. He could be on this angle, he could be on this angle, he could be on this angle right here, he can be in vent, he can be over here on this headshot angle, he could be over here. There's so many angles an opper could be, and that's why it's so annoying to deal with an opper in lower. So to sum it up from the CT's perspective, all they're trying to do is deny a rush early, set themselves up for the late round. So a T-side's goal should be to deny info so the CTs can't set up their late round. Now what this could look like is an early door nade, which will be over here. You can throw a door lurk smoke as well, which pops over here. And now you could be down vent. Now with this door lurk smoke, you're going to have a teammate that's going to come over here and molly towards top hut. And now this will completely take information away from the CTs if you're going down vent. Generally, what rotates will look like if you throw a door lurk smoke and a top hut molly is now the A players can't rotate. Unless the outside player's in secret, he can't go down to hold vent. So the ramp player is going to be the one who has to drop down. So if you throw this utility on T side, there might be a timing in ramp where you could actually go timing between the gap and the smoke and the Molotov, or just go through the smoke. And maximum majority of the time, there's going to be an opper towards J-Hall, and that might be all you're dealing with if the A players told the ramp player, hey, they could be down vent. Now the ramp player has to pick it up, and this is how you mess with rotations on CT side. And a core concept of T-sides, and this is something that you need to hammer into your brains, the T's goal is to fake some sort of lower pressure. You want the CTs thinking that you could be down lower, because if you could be down lower, this will force a rotate. And by forcing a rotate, I mean a CT has to pick up lower, or else you could just be all over B site. This concept will be in every single pro match you watch on every single default round. I can guarantee you. And this is how callers play their mid rounds. They either do outside smokes to fake lower control, they either do vent smokes to fake lower control, or they take ramp control to fake lower control. And what this will do is this will always mess with the CT side setup, and it will always do it in a way that on T side, you are in control of who's going where on the CT side. And now it comes back to the concept I've been saying in every single one of these videos. You are playing a numbers game at its core on T side as a caller. You have a certain amount of players. You want to go towards where the less amount of players on the other team are. And this is the basic concept that goes into calling. Each map has their own way of forcing rotates. Each map has their own way of going to the lesser numbers. But at its core, this is what calling is. Now, how you end up going towards sites with these situations in mind is, let's say you push off the ramp guy early, right? Now the opera has to rotate like I was talking about. And let's say you force him off, right? A common flash thrown in pro play is you do this. This flash will blind anyone towards J-Hall. He'll have to fall back to a worse angle. And now you could be in olive ramp. So now one person has to hold the J-Hall wrap. One person who's lower now has to be worried about you coming down ramp because this player's forced off. And he also has to worry about the other lower control you did, whether it be outside smokes or event lurk smoke. So this makes the round extremely sticky for the CTs. If your fake outside control was outside smokes, let's think about it this way. If it's outside smokes, the A player should be one of the guys rotating. Now, if you pushed off the ramp guy's down lower, and there's a guy towards J-Hall. What will this leave? This will leave one player towards A, or two players towards A, but usually in the form of an A player and a mini player, and the mini player will generally be around somewhere over here if he was starting outside early, or he'll be towards heaven, but again, he won't be in the bomb site. So if you set up the round in a way where you do outside smokes, you then take ramp control, this is a prime opportunity to go to the A bomb site because it's less defended. This is where you'll see teams do mid-round door pops where they smoke mini, they throw a couple flashes in mini, they molly Asia just in case the mini player came into sight, and then they'll throw a ton of flashes, usually from a guy on T roof that pop behind the silo. I'll show you right here. You go towards the side of the silo, you aim at the bottom of this area towards the window, and jump throw. And this flash will pop behind the silo, and basically what this will do is if you're coming out towards door, although it doesn't look like it with the tracer for the flash, what will actually happen is you won't get blind while you're scaling towards site, but anyone behind silo will. So if they're over here holding towards door, these flashes will destroy him, they won't destroy you. This is when you'll see teams scale up towards A, coming out door, and this is how you'll take the A bomb site off of a default in this scenario. And that's just one example. I'm not going to go through every example of faking lower control, taking space, and then hitting a site, but there are so many different ways that you can play with going down lower because there are 3 options. You can chain them in different ways and figure out which works best for your team. But that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and drop a like and a sub. All the support helps. These videos have been getting an insane amount of traction, and I appreciate you guys all for showing the support. Like I said earlier in the intro, if you want any coaching, my link will be down below on my Medify. And if you have any questions, I stream 1 to 5 p.m. EST on my Twitch. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.